I'm your host, Stephen Vanover, here on the Sports Talk Line Network, where we talk sports 24/7, 365. This is the New York Giants Weekly. I'm here with Mr. New York Giants. We're talking Tom McAllister, straight from New York City. Good day, sir.
Thanks for having me, man.
It's always a pleasure. And hey, before we get going any further, please hit that subscribe button, slap that notify bell. Follow us over here on Twitter. You see how it goes. We got our names right up here on the screen. Me at Stephen Vanover and Mr. Tom McAllister at defends_com. Be sure and do that because without you guys, it does not happen, okay? So, let's jump right into it. New York Giants. This is a special week because this is a preview of the New York Giants versus the Dallas Cowboys. First NFC East matchup of the season. And wow, man, there's a lot to be going on here because the NFC East is anybody's.
Yeah, I believe this might be the first time we have a game that has division title consequences and also can impact the first pick of the next draft, which is something that I think it goes to show the state of the NFC East, as no team has more than 2 wins right now. It seems like, Dwayne Haskins is being benched in Washington. The Eagles finally got their first win against the depleted 49ers game. The Dallas Cowboys are putting up points, but they can't stop anyone as they got, beat down by the Cleveland Browns. And the New York Giants are what people thought they would be, and that's struggling so far in 2020.
All right, let's jump right to the irony situation, okay? Jason Garrett's taking a beating right now because the Giants' offense is not getting the job done. Is it an irony? This is a redundant question. That basically the Dallas Cowboys' defense is going to make him look good.
It would definitely be some. This is the classic. Something has to give. Where if you're a Dallas Cowboys defensive player, this could be a game where you're able to get sacks, you're able to force turnovers. This could be a game where the Dallas Cowboys look like the '85 Bears. I don't know if it's because they're that talented, but because maybe there are some shortcomings in the Giants' offense. I mean, number one, they're without their playmaker, Saquon Barkley. And even though, he only played one full game in week 1, the Giants were at least able to score some touchdowns in that game. And that's because when Saquon Barkley is on the field, he needs to be accounted for. Right now, the Giants' offense, there really is no one you need to account for.
No, and that's legit. As we already talked about on the Dallas Cowboys Weekly show, and we actually put it out there on Twitter, everybody pretty much agrees that the Dallas Cowboys' big comeback win over Atlanta, which got a lot of people excited, me included. It was an amazing game. But it was more about Atlanta being Atlanta than it was about Dallas finding a new heart or way to win games. So when these two teams come in here, as you said, what we know is the New York Giants offense has not proven itself. The New York Giants defense, on the other hand, has shown every game, I think, some snap. And is a big improvement over last season. Would you agree?
Absolutely. I said it before, I'll say it again. Dave Gettleman made some solid free agent signings this offseason.
Excuse me.
I said signings.
Signings. My bad.
James Bradbury is playing at a Pro Bowl level at cornerback.
Yes.
And that shutdown corner just improves the secondary. The Giants, they have a pass rush now. I'm not saying they're, a top 5 NFL defense, but they are vastly improved. They have a very deep defensive line with Dalvin Tomlinson, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence, I think, is going to be huge.
It's not just pressure from the outside you're getting. You're collapsing the pocket as well.
Yeah.
And that's key towards good defense. You've got to collapse that pocket. Even if you don't get the sack, you're stopping the QB from stepping up and making that deep throw, aren't you?
Yes. And Blake Martinez is a tackling machine. Lorenzo Carter has finally developed into the solid linebacker that people thought. So their defense is respectable. I think they would be even better if the Giants' offense was able to chew up some clock where, the Giants can play great defense for approximately 25 minutes. if they get to that 35 or 40-minute
solid
mark,
solid defense
yes,
for about 25 minutes.
that's when issues will arise once the Giants get to that.
Well,
35.
they're getting beat on a misdirection, trick plays, stuff like this, stuff that you pull out of your hat. On the meat and potatoes, these guys are doing the job.
Yes, I think the 49ers, they were held under 100 yards rushing. Nick Mullins was able to hurt them, though. The Rams, who put up 30-plus points the last 2 weeks against their opponents, they didn't break 20 points.
No.
They scored, they had one drive and one broken play.
You guys were in that game. Game. All right. However, now you talk about the Rams, who are a pretty good team. I mean, Sean McVay and all that kind of stuff. And by the way, for anybody wondering, yes, he is a Yankees fan, and yes, the Yankees game is on right now. Okay.
Yes. Minus the hat.
Minus the hat. Okay. Which I don't even know how that happened. Okay.
Yeah.
But you've not run up against 4 wide receivers like the Dallas Cowboys can throw at you right now.
As of now, no. So, it's and also the ground game too with Ezekiel Elliott. I would say usually Ezekiel Elliott, he doesn't put up tremendous numbers against the Giants,
No.
but you got to wonder if, are they going to go pass first, which they could. I mean, Dak Prescott, if he was on a 3-1 team instead of 1-3 team, there would be talk about him being MVP of the season so far because he is putting up monster numbers. So you got to wonder, though, too, the Cowboys need to fight first. They need to stop somebody. And you got to wonder, will the Giants be able to neutralize the Dallas Cowboys enough? So this is the classic something has to give, where the Giants' strength is their defense, the Cowboys' strength is their offense. They're going to match up, and the weaknesses are the Giants' offense is the weakness, and so is the Cowboys' defense. So you got to wonder, can the Giants finally break through, or is it just going to be another frustrating week?
Well, no one's been able to stop the Dallas Cowboys offense. Turnovers is what has stopped the Dallas Cowboys offensive prowess. Various turnovers for various reasons. But 450 yards a game, 3 games in a row, that is almost unheard of. That's Mahomes type stuff, and it actually reminds me a lot. The Dallas Cowboys remind me a lot of Kansas City a few years ago when they had no defense, and they would be in games, but they would lose a lot of games.
Yes.
And that's what I'm seeing right here. And I think this is actually not good news for the New York Giants fans out there. I put to you, I think this is a matchup made in heaven for the Dallas Cowboys because their defense sucks and they're running into an offense that has problems, whereas conversely, they don't really have to worry about their offense. Their offense is going to put up points.
Well, I think, too, this is where, Devontae Freeman, who was signed after Saquon Barkley's injury, and the Giants did put up 100-plus yards rushing in their last game as a team. So you got to wonder if they're finally finding a rhythm or a strategy where they can move the ball and eat up clock, because if you're going up against this Dallas Cowboys team, you probably are looking, your game plan is we need to control time of possession.
Yes.
We need to have these long drives that keep the defense on the field and keep the offense on the sidelines.
And that really is the key to the game, if you ask me. I've looked at it. To me, if you're going to see who's going to win or lose this game, there's only 2 stats you need to look at. Time of possession, turnovers. That's going to tell you the game.
Now, do you think the Cowboys maybe should look at their defense and be like, know what? We need to keep these guys off the field, so maybe let's come up. Let's try to do a ball control offense, especially if we got Ezekiel Elliott in the backfield.
Yes, I think that is what a normal person would do. However, I think McCarthy has come in here with a mandate from Jerry Jones to score. Be aggressive. He's going for it on 4th down. And heck, it's only 2nd down. He is super aggressive. He's going for 2 points when all of the book says, no, take the field goal right here. He's going for it on 4th down when everything says, no, take the field goal right here. So he's not being just aggressive. He's being uber aggressive. There is an obvious mandate from Jerry Jones to be aggressive. It's not worked out for him so far.
I think Jerry Jones, for the most part, he likes winning the press conference almost as much as he likes winning games.
Maybe more.
So he needs to make the big splash moves, whether it's in free agency, in the draft, with play calling. I think the worst thing to happen for the longevity of the Dallas Cowboys was Jerry Jones coming in and winning those 3 Super Bowls very quickly, because they're like, great, he kind of got that boisterous ego. He thought he could do them by himself. He didn't need Jimmy Johnson anymore. And, they've been up and down, and they really, they're able to maybe assemble some things on paper, but they haven't been able to hit pay dirt since 1995.
I mean, not even getting near it. All right, here's a couple interesting things, and I'm talking about the 2 teams and their coaching situations. With the Dallas Cowboys, they have a defensive coordinator who absolutely sucks, an offensive coordinator that is getting the job done on offense, and then a head coach who is under fire because he brought the defensive coordinator in. The offensive coordinator was left over from Jason Garrett. Now, you flip over to the Giants, you've got a head coach who I think is gaining respect by the game around the league. All right?
Yeah, I think the big thing with Joe Judge will be, first off, he needs to get some wins. Because they want to preach a culture change. That stuff is great. If the losses start mounting and it's like we're losing more games than last year, you got to see if there's still going to be buy-in from the players, because there are certain things that you have seen with the game tackling. It seems like the Giants are playing with more emotions, except they're fighting people after the game.
They're playing better football than last season. That is not a question,
especially on the defensive side of the ball. So you got to wonder though. Like, all right, this culture change is great. It's what the Giants need, but they need to get the W's to keep it going.
All right, well, let's break it down to that part of the game. As we know, there are 3 phases to the game. You got to win 2 of them to win the game. Offensive phase of the game. You got the Giants on one hand with Jason Garrett, and on the other hand, you got the Cowboys with the old Jason Garrett offense. This is really not a conversation. The Cowboys are going to win the offensive phase of the game.
Yes, okay? I totally agree. It's going to be the Cowboys' offense.
Defensive phase of the game, I'm sorry. I think it's a similar conversation. I mean, yeah, the Cowboys have a lot of talent on defense. I get you that. But their offense doesn't help them. And they are a mess right now. Their linebackers and everything are all over. Jalen Smith is not liking the middle linebacker position nearly as much as he in this defense, as much as he was in the other offense in the weak side. Byron Smith is gone. They've got some old guys that they signed to try to provide pass pressure. Okay, it worked for a couple games. It's a total mess, whereas the Giants are a young defense on the rise. Yeah?
Yeah, they are. And I think when you compare talent, or at least play so far, the Giants, when you look at the numbers, when you look at the points given up, they're probably a top 5 team in points given up.
Yes.
I think for their progression, they just need to win on third downs on defense.
Who doesn't?
Also offense.
Who doesn't? Okay.
Yeah, that's something where, the Rams, they looked at the numbers, they thought they would go out and the Rams would have their way with the Giants defense on third down. But the Giants, for the most part, didn't give that up. So you got to wonder if they can take that momentum into going on in game. All
right. So then the last thing is special teams. And, man, I tell you what, I'm up in the air on this because Dallas Cowboys special teams have been horrible the last few years. This year, they've been hit or miss. Hit or miss. They got the watermelon kick for the onside, a few other things, but then they also have some bonehead special teams play. What's it been like for the Giants?
Giants, not that, they're able to force some turnovers on special teams. Graham Gano so far has delivered as place kicker. So I got to go with the Giants for special teams.
All right, that gives the Giants 2 out of the 3 phases of the game. Are you picking the Giants to win this game?
Why not? What's all you got to lose?
I love it. I absolutely love it. And, man, I got to tell you what, on a certain level, and, I'm going to go gangster here. Yeah, I think the Giants deserve to win this game. Can the Cowboys defense show enough pride to show up? Man, I just don't know. I just don't know. I tell you what, this game here, who am I going to pick? I'm going to pick Dallas eking it out in the 4th. Eking it out. Just because their offense is so damn powerful. That's it. I don't think the Dallas Cowboys deserve to win. I think they're going to win.
All right, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But, I mean, I'll tell you this. If the Giants are able to get their first win against the Cowboys, I think Cowboys Nation will set fire to Jerry Jones. It will be
no, they won't. Jerry Jones is untouchable. Jerry Jones is untouchable. They'll go after Mike McCarthy and act like it's all his fault. Okay, Jerry Jones is untouchable. All right, that doesn't matter. What last call to action here for everybody watching out there? Hey, hit that subscribe button, hit that notify bell. More importantly, talk about who you think is going to win the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Giants in the NFC East matchup that's coming on this Sunday. Also, Tom and we're going to have maybe Spinksy, definitely going to have Nate. We're going to be doing a live reaction, a quick reaction right after the game, coming on, talking about what went wrong, what went right. It's going to be awesome. And until then, Tom, sign us off, please, sir.
Listen like you play with intensity. Don't forget to follow @defends_com.
You got it, guys. See you later, and go Giants.